What's going on, everybody? So it's been a while since I've been on my video stuff. This is going to be a very special video, and I'm going to be promoting this video a lot because as of January next year, 2025, it will be 10 years of me since the day I got diagnosed with cancer, and it will be 8 years since I got the all clear. So I'm just going to talk a bit about my experience in this video because I don't often talk about it because I didn't want to be known just the guy that got cancer and survived, you know what I mean? And I didn't want to be known as the cancer kid. I know, weird, but I feel like being nearly 10 years since the day that I got told I was gonna die, and 8 years having been, by God's grace, having survived it, I feel like now is the correct season for me to kind of explain to you exactly how everything went down, how it's affected my life, and the lessons I learned from it. Now, most of this information I'm gonna go through, you can get in my book, What Can I Control? The Lessons of a Two-Time Cancer Survivor. This is actually on Amazon. I made it not very thin, but thin enough that you can actually finish it, but this is going to be like the audio version. Okay, I'm going to go through each chapter, kind of basically walk you guys through how I found out I was sick, how I beat it, how life's been since then, and all the other stuff in between, like the emotion side, the spiritual side, the physical side, all of that stuff, just in case it helps somebody. One thing that I believe is that we don't go through stuff in life for ourselves. We go through things in life that we can help the other person behind us get through it too, based upon the experiences that we share with each other. So what I want to do is to share my story with you guys in its entirety, hoping that whatever you guys are going through, it doesn't have to be cancer, it can be depression, it could be suicidal thoughts, it could be debt, it could be relationships, it could be anything. The fact of the matter is we all go through a period of time where we have a struggle. We have to go through a period of time where you have to fight to survive or push past that problem, and then we grow, right? So this is just my story of my growth. Hopefully my story helps you guys in whatever you're going through to beat what you're going through. Do you know what I mean? So as I said before, I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and believe when I say it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. Okay, so I was at uni in 2015. I think I'm going into my third year of university, and I'm just living my life. In hindsight, there's a lot of things that I want to incorporate God in this a lot because I am a Christian, and God, the spirituality side of having cancer was very much impactful on my journey. But I understand that not everybody watching this is going to be Christian, so just bear with. But it has an impact, and I kind of want to speak to those that are Muslim, Jewish. If you have any kind of faith at all, you're still going to want to listen to this video. And if you're atheist, just stay along for the ride because there are stuff that is non-Christian based that I am going to be talking about in this as well. But I was at uni, you know, I'm living just uni life, nothing special. And what happened was, the reason how I even found out I was sick in the first place is because I went back to my third year, I believe, and I was in accommodation that I wasn't good. You know, I was in a house. I had the room on the bottom floor next to the kitchen, kind of like it felt like the dungeon. But it was, you know, whatever. I'm grateful because I was late finding accommodation, so I was just happy to have a place to stay. Turns out, while I was there, I got bit by an insect on my hand. Now, as a guy, or actually, no, fuck that. As a human being, if you get bit on your hand or bitten anywhere, what do you naturally expect to happen? You expect for to get a bump, then you expect it for it to pass, and then you expect it to go away, right? With my situation, I got bit, and instead of it just doing that normal thing that we are always used to, my hand got infected, right? So the whole hand became like pussy and like sore and big. This obviously happened over the course of like 2 to 3 weeks. Now, here's why it's good to have women in your life. Credit to my mom, my auntie, and some of the other women from uni who were in my life at the time. And they saw my hand, and it's almost like all of them read the same script. They was like, that's not so what's going on with your hand? You need to go to the doctors. so I got kidnapped. My auntie Cordelia and my mom kidnapped me and took me to Lewisham Hospital to get a blood test. Now, for anyone who's watching this and you're not in the UK, I don't know how your government services work, but in UK, if they don't call you back after a blood test, you're fine. If they call you back, then you should be worried, right? So I got a call like 2 hours after I went for a blood test. I was on my way to work at the time, and I always think this lady's definitely from South London, because the nurse or whoever it was from the hospital called me and was like, hey, you need to go to the hospital right now. And I was like, okay, everything okay? She said, yeah, you need to go to the hospital right now. I said, okay, cool, no problem. I'll go after work. Thank you for the phone call. And she literally goes, I don't think you heard me. You need to go to the hospital right now. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And I swear, my whole being just, like, my heart just dropped. I was like, oh, okay. What is this? Okay, so I called my dad. I said, Dad, this is what the hospital just told me. I'm turning around. I went back and saw my dad, and we went to the hospital that very same day. Go to Lewisham Hospital now. I'm in A&E. They take blood tests, whatever. Then they say, something's wrong with your blood, so we're gonna have to run some more tests. That same day, they did a bone marrow biopsy, which is when they put a needle into your hip/lower spine to draw bone marrow out of you so that they can like do a test on it. Did the test. That was painful because it's Lewisham. No disrespect to them, but yeah, it hurt a lot. And then they came out with the results and said, yes, you have cancer. And not only do you have cancer, you have leukemia. And that's why your body is not fighting the infection, because your white blood cells, and for those of you that don't know about leukemia, it's when you have white blood cells and you have red blood cells, and the white blood cells that are meant to fight infection for some reason become corrupted or damaged, and then but they keep replicating those damaged cells, but those damaged cells aren't fighting anything. They're just like, it's like hiring a bunch of employees that don't work, okay? And my body's just replicating that, and then any infection that comes just walks through the gates. So they was like, yeah, anyhow you got a cold, this, luckily, thank God, this was before COVID, but anyhow you got a cold, or anyhow you got a flu, or anyhow you got something like kind of deep infection, you would have died. That's how far your leukemia has gone. Thank God you got bit. This is lesson number one, okay? Before I even get into the deepness of the story, this is lesson number one. In hindsight, I can give you this wisdom. You don't know what God's plan for your life is, number one. But number two, stop looking at every situation as good or bad, okay? The reason I say that is because I hated where I lived. I affirmed it because I liked the people I lived with. There was cool people, but I didn't like the accommodation, right? And I was pissed internally that I'm living in downstairs next to the kitchen in what felt like the basement, right? And I wasn't happy about it, okay? But the Bible says that all things work together for our good. And so if I never got bitten in the first place, let's say I was in a nice accommodation and I never got bit, then I never would have found out I even had the cancer. Okay, it even gets deeper than that. Okay, so I was actually doing international business and management at Hertfordshire University, and I was meant to do a year abroad in America, and I got offered lots of different places, and every time I got offered something, it would get shut down. Every time I get offered something, it would get shut down, and I was getting very, very upset about it. I was getting very depressed, like, God, like, that's not fair. Like, what the hell? I have all these connections, but I can't utilize any of them. And then come to find out, I got cancer, right? Had I got cancer in a different country, I hear about the way America is with their whole, like, if you get sick, how much you have to pay for stuff. We have the NHS over here. I got free healthcare. I'm alive today because of the NHS. Let me just say that. I'm alive today because of the NHS, okay? We shit on the NHS a lot. I am here because of the NHS, right? And I didn't pay for my chemo and all of this and all of that. If I went to America now and got sick there, oh yeah. Oh yeah, that invoice, that debt. Oh yeah, anyway. So again, you don't know what doors God is closing. You don't know what doors he's opening. If you have God in your life or any kind of faith in your life, and you are like asking God to, or the universe, whatever you believe in, to guide your steps, understand that the steps that then come towards you are from that person that you're praying to. And I believe in Christ. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. I would pray, hey God, order my steps. Order my steps doesn't mean get everything I want, right? It might mean you have to go to some crappy accommodation, get bit, and find out you have cancer, as opposed to having a nice accommodation, not getting sick, and then getting the flu and dying. So, right? It doesn't always come in the package that you think it will. So that's just my little segue of lesson number one. All right, that's literally a lesson for you on this video that you might want to sit around and think about, meditate on, that you could very well be in the best position needed for you and for your survival right now and not even know it. Okay, so that's that. So found out that I was sick, and here's why I found out. Now this is more for the religious people. Here's when I found out I wasn't as Christian as I thought I was. Does that make sense? Let me explain. So I've been raised Christian, right? I went to church. I go Bible study. My mom's a praise and worship leader. My dad used to teach in different scriptures and be a teacher in the scriptures and all that kind of stuff. I've been going to church. I believed in God. I was the kind of person that, yeah. If the devil ever comes and says, oh yeah, pick God, or I'm gonna kill you, I'll take the bullet. And I mean that. I would, because that's the easy way to heaven for me. I was just like, all right, kill me. If I could die in his name, hey, heaven. You know what I mean? Now, even though the devil never put a bullet to my head and said, yeah, pick a path, what he then did was like, all right, cool, I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna tell you that you're gonna die slowly and you're gonna die in 7 days from this disease. Now which team do you pick? Hey, when I got told I had 7 days to live and that the chemo was rampant in my body, you'd think as a Christian I would be like, God's got this, it's okay, no problem. No, reality, issues come across that will challenge your faith consistently, whether a bill here or a fine here, whatever. Life and death situations are where you really need to believe that which you have been taught. And I found out I had failed that test miserably, okay? Because when I got sick, I was pissed, right? Number one, I'm young. Number two, I'm not like super unhealthy, no more unhealthy than the average person. Number three, I'm as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Christian. Like, I genuinely believe my God is real. So the fact that I believe that you're real, I've been going to church all my life, I've been doing Bible studies, why me? Why am I the person that you're deciding now to kill off? At 21 years old, by the way. Why? Why am I being killed? Why am I being X'd out of the book of life right now at 21 years old? Why? And I would love to say that I calmed down. Nope. I was so vexed that I had to take walks and I had to go, God, this is not fair. God, it's not fair. I'm pissed. Like, why? I'm scared even. I'm scared. I'm gonna die. Like, yo, like, this is not what? And then, so I'm pissed internally and externally. I'm managing, right? But I'm more and more pissed as I think about it. Now, here's when I lost the plot, right? And I'm being fully honest. I'm 8 years old clear. I love God. This has been a whole season for me. Yes, but I'm going back to what I really felt when they told me I had cancer and that I was gonna die, because I don't want to sugarcoat this for you. Because at the end of the day, if we continue to sugarcoat the bad things we overcame and how we felt before we overcame it, people will think they're the only one going through trouble. And I don't want to sugarcoat this. This was actually a real thought. Okay, this actually happened, right? So as you know, as I said before, I'm Christian. So a bunch of pastors came to my house, none from the church that I went to, but I digress. A bunch of pastors came to my house, they prayed for me, and I'm in a state of mind, okay? And I want to kind of just show you the state of mind I'm in. I'm in a state of mind that there's two roles that can happen right now, okay? I could either be prayed for and get healed in the name of Jesus, and my life's gonna change. I'm gonna become a pastor, I'm gonna become an apostle, I'm gonna become an evangelist. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be on stages, because you can't miraculously heal me from cancer and just think I'm never gonna change. That's just come on, right? So I'm thinking God's gonna make me a pastor now because he's gonna heal me, and then we're gonna have that moment, you know, that crossing the Jordan, the Red Sea moment, or that Lazarus. Oh yeah, come bro, let's do it. All right, or the second part is God ain't gonna show up, in which case I'm going to be vexed because now he had an opportunity to show up and chose not to. For me, that there is a disrespect, because all the time I've been praying, all the time I've been paying my tithes, all of the time I've been going Bible study, I am not trying to hear this other option right now. That's the honest truth. Now, I'm not a fool, okay? So I know that as Christians, because again, one thing Christians need to stop doing, and I say this with all due respect, is throwing out church one-liners to people that are going through trouble. I was about to die according to science, right? And everyone kept telling me, oh, God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. Oh, don't worry about it, it'll be okay. Like all these scriptures, all these, oh, God's got it. Bro, I don't want to hear none of that right now. I hear you, me not want to hear it. If you ain't got no power in your hands right now, I beg shut up. Cause I'm gonna die, bro. Like, yeah, I don't need that, right? So the pastors came to my house, they prayed for me, they got the oil, the anointing oil, they prayed for me, prayed in tongues, all of that stuff. I looked at my hand, the pus, or like the infection was visible at the time. It was still there. I looked at my hand, looked at them, I looked at my hand, I looked at them. I got up and I left the room, closed the door, vexed. Cause I'm thinking this was his time, bro, to show up. Where's God? Where's the Jesus we talk about 24/7? Where's that guy? And I was so vexed. I was like, you know what? If I survive this, science is gonna get the glory for this, not God. That's I was vexed. Oh, and I found out, and here's again why you need praying people in your life, because my grandma, to this day, all she does is pray. I can't even reach my grandma. I don't even know how she's doing, really. but she does praise, right? And she called me and was like, hey, how are you? I get a feeling, I've been praying, you're gonna say something to God that's so crazy that you won't be able to take it back. And I was like, oh. And I said, Grandma, you don't understand. They're saying I'm gonna die. They're saying she said, okay, what's going on? So I explained to her the situation. She goes, okay, cool. I understand. You have the right to be angry. You have the right to be sad. You have the right to be scared. Okay. But do not say anything to God that you cannot take back. If your feelings are valid, but, and hear me, but if you can't find anything good to say nothing. I said, Grandma, that don't make, I don't want to hear that. Just said, no, trust me on this. Because I'm not saying you should fake it. Be sad, be angry, but keep your mouth shut. Because what could easily happen is you could talk yourself to death. The Bible says that life and death is in the power of the tongue. People that study law of attraction and energy and vibration will also tell you that which you speak will come towards you. That's the whole point of why people do the affirmations and writing things down. It's because you want to repeat a thing so that you manifest the thing. If you keep talking negatively, what do you think is going to happen? I said, I understand. So I'm not telling you to fake it. I'm not even telling you to blase it. I'm not even telling you to smile. Just be quiet. And if you can speak and you can find the words, ask for help and pray. And by that, I just mean if you can't find anything good to say nothing at all. And for the little positivity that you do have, just ask for help. And when I say ask for help, I mean like pray for the blessings, pray for the health, pray for the thing that you're looking for. But to pray, don't allow yourself to speak negatively about your situation to the best of your human capability. Okay, now here's a true story. This is me kind of going into the future to come back, but I'll say this: every single person who came into the ward negative, shouting, cussing out their parents, screaming down the place, don't want to talk to nobody, don't want to share nothing, just there's one kid, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to disrespect his passing or his parents or anything like that, but he came into the ward and he was just super negative. Like all the positivity that we was trying to pull out of thin air to like survive, he was just negative, and he didn't make it a month. He came and went. Like that's how in those life and death situations, you really have to be careful about the energy you put out there and also what you say. Do you know what I mean? For anyone who's going through a negative situation where it's like, I don't know, it's relationships or debt or family or health related, right? If you can't find anything good to say nothing at all. If your words aren't about solutions, if your words aren't about finding a way to get past it and you're just emotional, I'm not saying fake it. I'm not saying smile. I'm just saying be quiet. And if you need to talk it out, venting is okay. Like I think venting is healthy, but it's healthy up to a point, and then it becomes toxic. Like you have to start thinking, okay, cool, what am I going to do to beat this? What am I going to do to survive this? What's the plan to make this not as bad as it could be? Do you know what I mean? You have to start taking control of your mind, especially in those particular situations. Okay, that's just my help to you guys in terms of that, and that's my real life story. Like everyone who was negative died quick. Everyone who was positive either survived longer or beat it. So that's an honest to God real story. Like just if you can't find anything good to say concerning your particular issue, don't say anything. If you can't find it in yourself to speak scriptures or speak life over it, or do positive affirmations over it, or meditate positively over it, and that's fine. Sometimes you're not going to feel like it. Just say enough. Wait till you can muster up something positive to say, and say that. Okay, but that's my real life experience with that, right? So being positive. So back to the story, but if I reverse back now to the past, so I heard what she had to say. I understood. So I was vexed, but I was quiet. But I was vexed. Now, as time goes on, this is a little bit more about cancer. So I have to give God thanks, because even though I was angry, and even though I cussed God out, and even though I said science is gonna get the glory for this and not you, even though I said all of that, he still managed to get me into the Royal Marsden Cancer Hospital in Sutton. And there was a teenage young adults ward that they had, and it's supposedly, I didn't know this till I got there, but it's one of the best in Europe. So even though I'm vexed, God's still looking out for me. I just don't see it at the time, or I don't want to see it at the time, because I'm still angry. Okay, the fact that I'm even going through this in the first place, why do you expect me to be happy about? Right? But I give God thanks all the time for that. Right, so bless me in that realm, because I got to go to one of the best hospitals in the country. And when I got there, they told me, oh, leukemia is one of the easier cancers to solve, and it's great that you got it young. If you was ever going to get it, I'm glad you got it when you was an adult, or young adult, a teenager, or young adult. because you can fight it better than if you was older. So there was positives. Like if I was gonna get sick, I'm glad I got sick early, but no one's trying to hear any of that when they're going through it, let's be honest. Okay, so but it was positive news at the time, because it gave you a little bit more hope that you was gonna survive, right? So I'm going for that. I'm doing it without God in my mind. I'm now seeing myself bald because I had to shave off all my hair. That wasn't fun. A lot of things happen because before you do chemo, this is me being very, very, very vulnerable with you guys now, right? Before you do chemo, they make you have to do like sperm banking, all kinds of stuff, right? Just in case later on you can't get your sperm count back up due to chemo and all of that. And I believe in God, so I don't have any fear concerning that. I've already been told to me that I'm gonna have kids, and that's not really my fear. But at the time, as a man, okay, this is just for the men, I went through a season of time where I was like, I might not ever find love, because in my mind, and this is the thing about, especially to the men, that I need to kind of explain, get out of your head because we can just be as emotional as women sometimes. And I was in my head where I was like, no one's gonna love me, my sperm count's gonna be low, can't have kids, blah blah blah, all of this stuff. And I was creating stories in my head, man, to the point of depression. Like I was just like, not only am I sick, but now I can't, because God knows me, innit? I can't wait to be a father. I can't wait. Like I'm very excited to be a dad at some point. Can't wait, right? And he knows this. So the fact that not only am I sick, but now you want to take that away from me, I'm like, yo, like I'm finding it really hard to be Christian right now. You know what I mean? And I just create a whole fantasy in my head, man, that I'm gonna be lonely forever, that no one's ever gonna like me, blah blah blah. And it's very important, especially as individuals, that you control the narrative you say to yourself. Okay, I was very depressed at that point, and it stemmed from my own imagination. So be very, very careful of what you tell yourself is the truth. Be very careful of what you tell yourself is true, because just because you can imagine it doesn't make it real. It makes it a thought, it makes it imagination. But imagination becomes real once you start putting energy into it, and once you start to believe the lies you are telling yourself. Okay, and so for me, that was big for me. And I overcame it later, because after I beat cancer, a few years later, I found people that like me for me. I found people that love me for me. I found people that wanted to be me regardless. So it's not. Stop making up stories in your head. Okay, stop acting like you know everything. You don't. That's a part of life. You just don't know everything. So stop acting like it. All right, stop making up stories in your head and believe in your own stories. It's starred by you, produced by you, acted by you, marketed by you, and then you believe it because it's by you, and then the whole thing's wrong. The whole thing's badly written, it's poorly directed, but it's in your head, so it's just suddenly amazing. Like, just stop that. All right, just let life happen and pray for what you want and work on yourself. Okay, so that's my vulnerable moment when it comes to that, because that was something I genuinely went through. And I know, again, because I've had cancer before, and I speak to cancer survivors and other people that have cancer, even men with prostate cancer, right? You know, they can potentially lose the ability to get an erection, for example, right? And I had to coach these people through it as well. I was like, look, I've been kind of there, not as much, but kind of there. Don't worry about it. One, women that love completely different to men. Number two, even with prostate cancer and stuff like that, you can do Kegel exercises to make that thing work again, all kinds of things, right? So stop writing a story in your head that isn't real. Okay, it's very important that you control the narrative. Very, very, very important. So that's that. And now I'm in hospital. And it's real now. I'm bored. I'm doing chemo. So there's another thing. So I tried the herbal route. And this is just a little disclaimer for all the health fanatics, like, oh, you should have ate apricots. Okay, I did both. Okay, I nearly died trying to do the herbal way. Okay, let's just put that one out. However, here's the pros and cons, because I know everyone's gonna bring up Dr. Sebi and all this kind of thing. I've been through all of it. I know. And this is just a little tidbit for any of you, if you have lumps, bumps, tumors, all of that stuff, yes, 100%, if you cut down on sugars, eat the right things, get rid of mucus, all of that stuff, you can actually reduce the swelling, even to the point of it not even existing, by trying to make your body as alkaline as possible, getting rid of sugars for a long period of time, and just eating healthily and the right things as well, because just eating greens ain't gonna do it. Like, you have to make sure you're eating particular things that are anti-cancerous. Okay, yes, lumps, bumps, you can do that. When it comes to leukemia, especially, leukemia is a blood cancer. It's not a lump, it's not a bump, it's a blood cancer. So when it's a blood cancer, how can your body transfer nutrients if your blood's the issue? Okay, so if I had a lump and bump, I would have tried harder with the herbal root. Well, I tried with the herbal root previously, and the infection was getting worse, not better. So for me, it didn't work out. I said, yeah, I'm doing science. Okay, I tried the herbal thing. I love Dr. Sebi, but no. Okay, I want to live, and I don't want no chances. So I did chemo. Okay. However, if you get to the point where you have it and you are dealing with someone that's a lump and a bump, definitely go hard with herbal first, and then obviously apply science to it later if it doesn't work out. Okay, that's my personal advice, being that I've been through it twice, so you know what I mean, I'm a little bit qualified. But I digress. I'm in the hospital and I'm starting to have cancer experiences, right? So cancer experiences, like one day I nearly died, where I was laying down on my back, I was asleep, and I don't know what happened. I think a blood vessel in my nose popped or something like that, but in my dream I was drowning, okay, and I didn't know why. I just thought, oh, it's a weird dream, that's weird. And then woke up coughing on blood, and I nearly died from suffocation. That's one. And I coughed out like 3 buckets of blood that day. That was very scary. And there's one more time, but for the life of me, I cannot remember where it was. But because this one was way more traumatic than the other one. So that was one of my experiences. And one thing I will say is that, again, when I tell you guys to be positive in these negative situations, truly has to come from within. What we used to do is, luckily it was a young people's ward, so we got community, but also we used to do things like bet Oreos and play PlayStation. Like, we used to bet Oreos, and if you beat me, you get my Oreos. If I beat you, I get you Kit Kats. Like, we used to play games with each other, like be sarcastic and stuff like that. And we built like a unity in the hospital. If you're younger and you are now sick, or if you're younger and you're going through something that's not even sick related, like you're just going through a tough time, get as close to the people that make you happy as possible. Be around happy people where things are going well for them. Don't go there to be jealous and be negative. No, go there to get some of that happiness in your life. It's very contagious, good for the soul, and it helps you navigate your mind. It's almost like when people go gym, right? People go gym to escape mental issues, like mental health and all that stuff, because it's a place of peace. It's a place where they can focus on something else. I'm telling you, if your situation is negative, get around happy people as quickly as you can. I don't care. Find someone. Go into a new circle and find happy people. Trust me, it does wonders. And this is why I'm saying, when that negative guy came into the ward and tried to suck all the energy out, he ended up passing away, because really and truly, you can't survive situations where your faith is really needed without being some type of positive. There's no way. As a man thinketh, so is he. You have to make sure you take control of your mind, especially in situations where you're fighting. I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay, so I did the whole first month, the whole first year of chemo. There's a lot more to that, but I'm gonna skip some of it. And this whole time in my mind, I'm doing it without God. I want to make that perfectly clear. In the first year, I'm aware of God, and I'm saying prayers here and there because I'm alive, but my heart's not in it, let's be honest, right? And I survive it, bro. I do 8 months of chemo, 6 months of chemo, finally in remission. I go back to uni, yay, have the party, have to get out of prison. I was gonna say prison, get out of hospital, party, everyone's here, cool. Go back to uni to do my 3rd year for the 2nd time. So in my mind, I beat it, did it without God, and yeah, science gets the glory because I stand on business. Right? So bear in mind, and this is where the life lesson for this is a Christian life lesson now. Be very careful what you say to God. I'm gonna say it again. Be very careful what you say to God. Okay, here's why. So, and I laugh about it now because I've survived it, but trust me, I till this day I think it could have been avoided. So basically, remember that whole year I spent cussing God out and doing chemo and saying, you know, science is gonna get the glory, God's not gonna get the glory, all of that stuff. He lets me survive it, lets me say all of that nonsense, lets me celebrate, lets me go back to uni. Okay, anyway, so 2016, month of January, the same week that I got diagnosed the first time, the same day I got diagnosed the first time, I end up being told, oh, by the way, cancer's back and you're gonna relapse. The cancer's back. The thing that tried to kill you is back. Oh, and is cancer resistant. It's chemo resistant now because it came back after you did chemo. So we don't know what to do anymore. And oh, by the way, you're black. So that means there aren't many like donors out there. Like, unfortunately, your people don't donate stem cells or blood like the white people do. So finding you a match isn't something we can just readily just provide. Like, you're gonna have to just do chemo until we can find you a match. Bear in mind, I'm a twin. Bear in mind, I have 2. I know both my parents, love them both, and I have a sister. No one's a match. I have a twin, not a match. That's how black people have to survive cancer. Because when you need public service announcement, please give blood, or please give whatever it takes for them to make stem cells. Also for the women, I'm not sure what hospitals do in the UK. I think only like 3 or 4 hospitals in the UK even do this, but if you can try and give birth in a hospital where they can save the umbilical cord of your baby, try and go and give birth in that hospital. Okay, because as you will find out in the rest of the story, that's how I actually got my stem cells. But I digress, I'll come back to that in a second. So I get diagnosed again, I have cancer again, it's chemo resistant, and at this point I'm like, all right, the first time I was vexed, the first time I was angry, the first time I was in my head, this time I was like, all right, if I'm gonna die, then I want to die Christian. As silly as that sounds, I want to die Christian. So I had a good friend at the time. We're still cool. But I have a friend at the time called Yatta, and Yatta took me to her church when I got diagnosed the second time. I didn't want to, but being a black and Christian, everyone knows this. In January, there's normally like a month of fasting and prayer. I didn't want to go, but I went anyway, and I was moved. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, then I want to give it. I want to go back to God. Do you know what I mean? I just want to I want to try again. I want to make sure that next time if I die at peace. I not die angry. Basically, it's the mentality I'm going in there with. So I'm doing that, and when I go and I have that experience, and I tried to fast, I couldn't fast as much as I wanted to because I'm taking like 17 different types of pills, but I did what I could. Now here's what I believe: God has a sense of humor, right? It's almost like it's almost like in my head, this is how I saw it, right? It's almost like God said, hey, look who's back. All right, cool. All right, welcome back. I saw you fasting, so let's open the door. But before you come in, before you can come back, let's see if you learnt your lesson. Yeah, let's see if you learnt your lesson, big guy. All right, so what's gonna happen is you're now gonna get more sick than you've ever been, and I want to see if you're gonna cuss me out again. Yeah, big dog, I want to see if you're gonna cuss me out again. Let's try that one again, and let's see how you operate this time. Brother, listen to me. February 2016 was the worst month of my life this far in 31 years. Okay, it was bad. It was so bad, that's why I became famous. For those of you that don't know, the reason I wrote this book is because of February. Okay, February, I came out to God, did my fast. God had his little your back session, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get an abscess. Now, an abscess is like an ingrown hair, but instead of it coming outwards, it goes deeper into your body, right? And I got one near my rectum, so basically my ass, right? Meaning, every time I couldn't clench, okay? I couldn't clench. As a big man, couldn't clench. Meaning that I couldn't, if I stood up, I instantly just went to the toilet because I couldn't clench. Right? So boom, toilet. Now, can you imagine as a grown man, 22 years old, wearing adult diapers, skinny, you're in so much pain, you can't eat, you're on a morphine drip that you can click every 60 seconds. That's how much pain you're in. You can do nothing else but breathe and moan and go bathroom. Oh, when you stand up, you shit yourself, basically. You then have to shower every time you stand up. Nurses have to come in and clean your crap off the floor. The multiple showers are drying out your skin. And through all of this, you have to go, thank you, Jesus. Or keep quiet. Or just pray for healing. Can't cuss them out. Can't get vexed. You have to do it with a smile on your face. And you just have to accept. But it's so bad. It's the first time in 2 years that I've looked like I've actually had cancer. Bad. So bad, my mom even got scared. My mom got so scared, and this is where my testimony comes kind of full circle to a degree, is that my mom was like, oh, this is it. Like this could be the time whether he passes or not. So she was like, all right, we're all gonna pray for Kieran. So she went on Facebook and she was like, hey everyone, it's bad. She took a picture of me, put it on social media, like, it's bad. So what we're gonna do, everyone, for 6 days, we're gonna pray. I don't care what language you want to pray, what language you are, where we believe in, everyone's gonna pray for Kieran. So I had Muslims praying for me, I had Sikhs praying for me, I had people in Dubai that I've never met praying for me, I had Christians obviously praying for me, I had atheists sending good vibes. Right? I had all these people wishing me luck and praying for me, and then on the 7th day, mom said, hey, at 1 o'clock, can everyone just pray at the same time at 1 p.m. for Kieran? That's what she felt on her heart to do. That's what she believed God told her to do. People followed her, people listened. So on that 7th day, the abscess that I had shrunk. Okay, it shrunk, it went down in size enough that they could actually operate in it. Now, the reason I couldn't operate in it prior, it was too big, number one, but number two, there's something called platelets. So if my platelets were low, it means if they operated, I would have continuously bled and lost a lot of blood. So they couldn't do it, okay? Even though I was in pain and they wanted to operate to stop the pain, they couldn't do it. So I had to endure the pain for longer than necessary, which is why I say God really put me through it. Like he really tested me. It was like, yo, have you learned the lesson? Are you okay? I'm gonna make it harder for you. Have you nothing to say? Okay, you good? Right? And then here's why I nearly failed the test. And this is why I'm, I have a lot of sympathy for people in the Bible. You see them and go, why did he do that? Why did she do that? Why would they see God part the Red Sea and then build a statue? Hey, listen, do you know how I'm gonna be a complete honest Christian with you lot, yeah? All these people around the world pray for me, and I'm talking about nearly 1,000. Like, it went viral. Okay, so there's that. If you go back to my Facebook and go back to 2016, 2015, you'll see this post got shared like 500 times, 600 times, whatever. People around the world are praying for me. Okay, here's the humanity of the situation, right? In the back of my mind, I'm like, God, thank you so much that this abscess has shrunk. I give you praise, I give you glory, I thank you, I give you praise. But it took half the world to pray for you to show up. And as soon as that phrase came into my mind, I swear to you, I had to shut it down. I said, you know what? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because had I not, I don't know. I feel like I would have failed the test. Okay? Because even then, like, it should be a place you're thankful, you're on your knees, like, yes. And in the back of my mind, I'm still vexed. In the back of my mind, I'm still like, yo, it took this, it took that. And I was like, you know what? Thank God that even happened. Thank God that it decreased. Amen. Boom, let's just get this operation done. Do you know what I mean? And I got the operation done, no longer had to be on morphine. And then here's how good God is, okay? Remember I told you none of my family's a match. Science has come along so far now that they was able to take, and this is why I have a lot of respect for the NHS, but I love God, okay? They found a way to use the umbilical cord of a baby to get stem cell, okay? So they found a baby all the way in Germany who matches me, and they used the umbilical cord of that baby to create stem cells that they then gave me. And that baby was born at the right time, close enough that it could be shipped to me, all aligned at, you can't get it as perfect as it got. Like, literally, the time I was at my worst is when the baby was born. The stem cell was at my place, well, not my place, but the hospital, within like 72 hours to maybe 4 days. I'm now getting my transplant. Like, you can't make that stuff up. Like, it's very hard to get all those pieces together. And along this journey, I'd been through downs first because I was vexed, pissed off, and as I stayed in that pain, or stayed in that process of having cancer, I started to build my faith back up to the point that I became stronger. And a lot of people, they, after I beat cancer, they was like, oh, you're so strong, you're so amazing. I said, no, I'm stronger. Yeah, I'm stronger, but I wasn't strong. I just didn't have a choice. And there's going to be times in your life, family, where you don't have a choice. You're going to either have to stand on what you believe or forget everything you learned and just let life happen. It's your choice. Like, it's going to be one of those situations where you're going to have to decide this day, what you believe. And I failed that test the first time. Failed it. Flying colors, right? It's only now that I've been sick, had to go through it, learned how to manage my emotions, learned how to pray in negative situations, learned how to keep my mind positive to the best of my ability, that I was even able to pass the second time. Okay, you don't put everything you learn. This is for everybody. It's Christian or non-Christian. All the books you read about law of attraction, all the books you read about from the Bible or the Torah or the Quran. Thank you. Oh my days, that was gonna bug me. Okay, whatever you guys read, great stuff. Whatever church or mosque or temple you guys go to, great stuff. But you only put those things really into practice when hard times come. And I would be doing you guys a disservice by not telling you guys that unless you have been through trouble, you may fail the test as well. Okay, start thanking God or the universe, whatever you believe in, for the opportunities to use that which you have been taught. We use law of attraction for money, we use law of attraction for this and that, but we don't use it for like the stuff that matters. We use scripture for money and houses and but we don't use it for the stuff that matters. Life will throw situations at you where you have to use it to survive, where you have to use it to pay your bills, where you have to use it to not get evicted. Like, start using law of attraction, start using prayer, start using fasting, start using meditation as a everyday muscle, so that when trouble actually comes, you are ready and you believe Because here's the thing, there's no point having a sword and believing you can't kill it. Like, you have to believe the information that when it's game time, you can turn it on, right? As opposed to having all this information and then finding out you're not even equipped to deal with the situation because you've never really got that information deep inside of you and believe it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, please, even if you're going for negative situations, use it as a test to just manifest and to decree and declare and pray and do whatever you need to do to get over, so you know that this stuff actually works. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't be like me and fake it for 21 years, get into a hard situation and find out you ain't as Christian or Muslim as you thought you was. You better figure it out. You better figure it out while you're healthy, about how much you believe in it, because you don't want to get to a situation where you find out you're fake. And that goes for people that aren't religious too. You don't want to get to a situation where you call yourself spiritual 24/7 and then life hits you, you find out you ain't spiritual at all. Like, you just let your mind race. You just don't take charge of nothing. You don't say nothing positive, and you just end up getting sicker or worse, or getting into negative situations, making bad decisions because you don't actually believe none of the stuff you read. Like, you have to make sure in the times where it's good, you really build yourself up so that when negative situations come, you can actually fight. Okay, so that's very, very, very important. Now, here's another part of the story. So I beat it the second time, and when I say I got stronger, this is what I mean. I left just before I had my transplant. There was a gap. Okay, so my new white blood cells were high enough that I had kind of an immune system, but wasn't strong. So I had to go like take medicine and antibiotics to be able to leave. But I told the hospital, I said, I'm not doing uni again. I'm not doing my third year for a third time. I'm not doing that. I'm not chilling with all these youngers. I'm not doing it. So what's gonna happen is you guys are gonna have to let me out of the hospital. And it's like, what do you mean? We can't do that. What do you mean let you out of the hospital? I said, yeah, you guys are going to have to let me out of the hospital so I can go and take my exams at uni, all the way in Hertfordshire University. They said, no, that doesn't sound like a great idea. I said, you don't have a choice. I'm going. So either give me antibiotics or I'm just gonna go anyway, because it's not prison. You can't hold me here. So help me and let's just get it done. And so they finally bowed and they gave me the antibiotics. So I went to uni, I stayed with my friend, and I stayed with her for a week, and literally I would literally leave her place, go take an exam, come back and sleep. Go to this uni, take an exam, go back to her place and sleep. I did it for a week. I took all my exams that week with the cable still in my arm and my chest, right? I did that bald, wearing a hat. I did that skinny. I also did all my coursework in hospital, and I passed university that year with a 2-1 in business management. Situations come and make you, they show you what you can do. Like, but I need you to understand that strength came from 2 years of suffering. Like, you have to really want that which you ask for. I really wanted to graduate, man. I wasn't trying to do 5 years for a 3-year course. Man, I really wanted to graduate. So I found a way to graduate, and I got a Dean's Award because of that. They literally couldn't believe I did that. And I not only did I do it, but I got good grades. So I proved to myself I have the ability, and I proved to the world that you can change. And they was like, yo, that's great. And gave me a big old award, made me come back to the uni to speak multiple times because of that. Now, had I never done that, I would never been exalted. You guys have to make sure that once you go through your negative situations, you learn from them, okay? You learn from them and you grow. I learned from the first year, don't cuss God out. If bad stuff happens, keep quiet, pray, right? Control your mind, control your family, right? For example, when I was at uni, and my mom, when I was at hospitals, rather, my mom hates this story, but there was a time, and this goes for all mothers, all emotional men. All mothers and all emotional men, okay? Just because you love somebody does not mean you are always loving them correctly. What I mean by this is this. So when I was in hospital, this is a little bit of a segue, but again, it's about a lesson that has been learned, right? When I was in hospital, my mom would come in, and my mom loves me to death. But her love was coming across annoying at the time, because it was like almost like pitiful, like, oh, are you okay? Oh, are you feeling? Oh, and I get it. She's a mom. That's she's doing her job. That's what she's a mom. Do you know what I mean? But at that point in my cycle of trying to be better, I didn't need that type of energy around me, because it was almost like everyone else was trying to be positive and she's just there worrying out of love. So I had to ban my mum from the hospital like a mom. I said, I know you love me, but I can't have you in my space. I can't have you in my mom, I love you. Can't have you here, because you're going to love me and your love's going to come across negative. I need you out. That's the only way I can stay positive. Even though you're not being negative, like, you're not saying, oh, you're gonna die. Nothing like that, but you look at me as if I'm sick. And this is why I have a lot of appreciation, a lot of love from all my friends that visited me in hospital, because my friends banter aggressively. And when they saw me, they came and treated me just like they would do if I was fully healthy, which made the journey a lot more positive. They didn't come to me and start crying. Okay, some people did, but the man them didn't come here and come here crying. They was like, yo, da 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 da, you know, like they made jokes. They would make jokes of my bald head, changing my skin, all kinds of things. They was just relentless, but I loved them for it because it didn't make me feel sick. Meanwhile, my mom was doing theater productions. just wailing. I was like, yo, you need to go. And I banned her, and she was very upset with me. I said, I'm sorry, but no, can't do it, right? Can't do it. So even if, what's the lesson here? Even if you love them, even if you have people who you love, okay? Even if you love them, let them go for a season while you fix yourself up and go back. Don't feel pressure to have to accommodate everybody because of the bonds you have. If they love you, they will be upset, but they'll stick around to your back. It's fine, but be very aware of like how you feel and how other people make you feel in this season, and figure out what emotions you want to be surrounded by, and is this person bringing that out of me, or are they taking it away from me? And then figure out, okay, how much do I want this person around me, and how much time do I spend with this person? And it might be a thing where you just have to cut ties or ghost for a bit and then come back when everything's sorted, and that's perfectly okay. Don't feel guilty. I felt guilty for about 5 minutes, and then after that I was like, that was a great decision. That was a great decision. Me and my mum are cool. Me and my mum are like best friends now, but at the end of the day, at that particular point, she had to go, right? So again, doesn't matter if it's your friend, doesn't matter if it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter if it's best friend, whoever it is, right? If they are bringing out negative feelings from you, and you're trying to focus on being positive and trying to get to a particular goal, and they're loving you the wrong way, let them go. Come back to them later when you get to where you're going. That's just my personal advice. That's what helped me. Take it or leave it. Do you know what I mean? All right, cool. So after I beat cancer now, had the Dean's Award, all of that stuff, round 2 and round 3 came. Now, here's what I mean by round 2 and round 3, right? It's almost like God said, okay, you passed, but let's see if you learned the lesson for real. A year later, I think, I got shingles. Now, shingles is when you get blisters and it turns into scabs, and I had it on my face. It was all down here. You can't even really see. You can't even see it, thank God. But you could, this is one of them, the scars that left. This is it. So I had it on this side, right? So I had shingle, right? So I had scabs all over my face. Beat that, prayed, kept quiet, didn't cuss God out, blah, blah, blah. 6 months later, I got meningitis. And now again, I was out on a video shoot or something like that, and I got a headache. The headache didn't go anywhere. It stayed for a long period of time. I came home, I felt I was gonna be sick. I sat by the toilet to throw up, and I just passed out. Turns out I blacked out, started screaming, all kinds of things that I don't remember. Woke up in ICU in King's College Hospital, and I was out for 3 days. Didn't even know. With tubes all in my mouth. They're telling me I'm gonna have brain damage, telling me I might not even wake up, all kinds of things. Like I'm hearing all of this afterwards, by the way, obviously. And again, by God's grace, I was out of there in a week. Like I had learned the lesson. Do you know what I mean? I had learned the lessons that God was trying to teach me about going through hard times and staying quiet, only staying positive, only believing that which is true, and guarding your mind against negativity. And those things I overcame quickly. Shingles, quickly. Meningitis, quickly. They said I was gonna be in the hospital for 3-4 weeks. I was out in a week. Like because I've built up my tolerance, number one, to bad news, and number two, I've built up my tolerance to negative situations, where it's now I'm more in control of how I think and how I operate. There's a lot of places I go now where people are like, oh, you're such great energy. I love your energy. I love your vibration. That's all a byproduct of what I've been through. Do you know what I'm saying? So built that because of the hard times and how I've been lucky enough to get to know God from a personal perspective, and also myself, okay? Even myself, just what can I tolerate? What can I not? What do I need help with? What can I do by myself? All of these things are things that I now know because of what I went through. If I could give you guys any advice to not make this video crazy long, I'm definitely gonna cut this one down, boy. But that's my life so far, okay? Now, there's way more to that story, but I tried to incorporate as much as I could in this video. I hope that the lessons that I have given you and the experiences I've given you in this video help you to understand that just a couple things. Number one, we all go through problems. You can't escape it. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's just a part of life. Don't social media will have you acting like everyone just swims through. Nah, everyone goes through it. Number two, just because you go through something doesn't mean God don't love you. There might just be a lesson you need to learn here, or it was something that you brought about by your bad decisions and God still loves you enough to help you get through it. Either way, all things will work together for your good, especially for those that believe in him. Okay, for those of you that don't have a faith, take away from this what you can. Be quiet until you have something positive to say. Speak to those that are really, really close to you, but if you need to vent up to a point. Don't let it get toxic, and speak positivity. Do your affirmations, do your law of attraction, do your vibrations, whatever you have to do, but be positive to the best of your human ability. Number three, figure out what the lesson is in every negative situation, and if you can, and figure out if you have the ability to pass and try and pass. Okay, you struggle with debt. Why are you in debt? You made dumb decisions. Okay, what can you do to not make that dumb decision again? All right, cool, I'm gonna do this. All right, cool, now you try again. You might fail, you might overcome it, but you have to make sure you're always progressing every single day. Do you know what I mean? Like, learn from these negative situations. But the worst thing you guys could ever do is let life slap you in the face, and instead of learning how to box and weave and mink, whoop, whoop, you just let it slap you again, and you don't learn nothing. Like, yo, like, what was the point of getting slapped the first time if you're not gonna learn to weave? Like learn to weave, like learn to keep your guard up, right? Learn these things so you can attack life. Last but not least, have praying people around you. And if you're not religious, have positive people around. That was a big blessing for me. Big blessing. I wanted to end this video by saying, hey, if you was one of those people that prayed for me, I really, really thank you. I really, really thank you. I don't know, probably 90% of you guys. Thank you so much, because without you guys, I don't know if I would have been here. Okay, so that's an honest praise and thank you, and I bow my head to you guys to say thank you, because it would never been possible, especially to my friends as well, all my school friends, all my college friends, all my uni friends, people from uni that came and visited me. Like, yo, like, all of that is crazy. Even the family friends, right? I love all of you. Last but not least, understand that the only reason I'm talking is because I survived it. Now, I don't know what you guys have been through. I don't know what you're currently struggling with. I don't know what your ups and downs are like. Everyone's ups and downs are different. You might not have cancer, but you might be going through something else, right? Once you guys overcome it, share your story. Right? Because I guarantee you, if someone has cancer now and they watch this video, something about this video will help them. Something about this video will help them. Something. I don't know what you're going through and what you're overcoming, but once you've done it, share it with somebody, because you never know who you could impact and who you could save hours or years or moments in their life, where you could actually save a life by showing someone that you overcame the very thing that person is going through. So this is my little contribution to that matrix, and I pray that my experience of going through what I've been through helps you guys. I'm currently speaking at different schools, going through experience with how I beat this. I've also spoken at prisons. I mean, my cousin has actually brought me up to a prison where I got to have a little speak as well, and I currently speak at all these other shows as well. So if you do want to have more content like this, and you do want to speak more about overcoming and mentality and how to be Christian and entrepreneurial, you also want to know about how I'm doing now with my Forex journey, how I've been able to help teams grow, how I've been able to become debt-free through cancer, debt-free through Forex, and how I've been able to do all that kind of stuff as well since I've been cancer-free, definitely stay tuned. And if you want me to come and speak at anything you got going on, let me know. But if you don't want me to come and speak and you've had enough of me talking, guys, check out this video. Everything I've been through on this video is pretty much in this book, and as I said, it's small-ish, so it can help you guys finish it quickly. But I believe that this could really help you to remind you of the fact that you're not gonna die, and whatever you're going through right now isn't going to kill you. As cliche as it sounds, it's gonna make you strong. And I just pray that you learn the lesson from whatever negative thing you guys are going through, and that you take it as a blessing, and that you grow, and that you become the best version of yourself. And I say all of that in the name of Jesus. Amen. With that being said, guys, catch you guys in a bit. Take care. God bless.